Hey guys, how are you? Ishai Breslauer here. I hope you are well today, and the weekend is coming. I'm live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook Live, and also it's going to be stripped out to be it's going to be a show, which is going to be in about an hour, so you can hear it while you drive on the way to work. I hope you guys are doing well. To me, it was a busy, crazy week, and usually on the weekend I like to lighten up a little bit. I don't know about you, but usually when it comes to the weekends, what happens to me, and that's why I'm doing this show on Thursday. On Monday, I always dive into some asset class, and we go and drill down. Last time we did some retail talk, and that was pretty intense. And that's what happens on Monday when we are all refreshed, we're focused, we're going to work. We have this thing in mind that we want to conquer the world. Thursday, it's if you're like me, I don't know what about you, but after you did everything you want to do, or you tried to do everything you want to do, you gave your all, as we call it, to conquer the world, you're a bit exhausted. So the idea is to go to work for this last day and have some inspiration for this last day, and to go with it for the weekend, recuperate and refresh. So that's why I like to do some stories which are great for beginners who are coming into commercial real estate and any business, and of course every pro who needs to recuperate a little bit and get some get the energy back, get yourself back into action when this weekend is over. So today I just wanted to dive in and talk about confidence. Today I wanted to talk about building confidence. It's such an important topic that a lot of people are focusing on, are thinking of. Building confidence is something, it became a cliche. Everybody talks about it. You have like those millions of motivational videos, all over the place, get motivation and build the confidence, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to tell you my perspective on this thing, which is so important. Because you can't do anything if you don't have confidence. The second your spirit falls a little bit, you don't want to do something. Like, for example, yesterday, I wanted to do a Facebook Live also to give some pumping up, some stuff, which I do more often. And I just didn't have it. I didn't have it. I was like, I don't have it. I don't feel that confidence. I don't feel that stamina, whatever you want to call it, in order to go and that energy in order to go and do that. And that is something that you have to build for yourself. You have to build energy in order to go in front of people and talk to people and try to do that in front of them. So that is very, very, very important. I'll just want to talk to you, and that is something that I go back to my days when I was an educator, and I worked for a very famous rabbi. Rabbi Raphael Grossman, one of my biggest mentors and tremendous person. And my experience with him was very, very unique. I was supposed to assist him with education in the congregation, wherever we were. And a very interesting incident happened. And I want to tell you about this incident. And what happened was the following. We got into this, and I was a young man. Previous public speaking experience or teaching experience that was in that caliber of teaching adults, or in a school or youth or a synagogue or a church, whatever you want to call it. And I have that type of an experience. And he tells me, and I was asking a lot of questions. How do you do that? How do you do that? And he believed in me. And that was the key for every single thing. And I want to tell you something. And that is what I took from him today when I work with people, when I work with staff, when I work with young people. And that is believe in the young people. To give them assignment, don't bombard them, but give them inspiration and believe in them. Tell them that you believe in them. Tell them that they can do this. Tell them that you believe in them. And if they fail the first time, tell them that no big deal. You will do it better next time. Again, you have to make sure you hire the right people and work with the right people. That is key. But I'm saying, in order to inspire people in the right way, and give them the right path, you need to know what you're saying to them and to say in the way that will inspire them. And that is key. So anyways, he says to me one day, I want you to come here at about 8 p.m., which was already nighttime, to come to where we used to work together. And there was a class that we were supposed to give. He said, I want you to come at 8 o'clock, approximately come at 8 o'clock, 8:15. Walk in, come to my office. And it didn't tell me what it is. It did not tell me what it is. And I said, okay, no problem. Of course I'll come. And 8 o'clock, meaning comes 8 o'clock. I get into my car. He said 8:15. I was not in a rush. He said, it's no rush. Just show up whenever you show up around that time. I got in at about 8:10 or so. I can't remember exactly when, but a little bit after 8. And I come in. What I thought that I'll find was him in the office waiting for me to talk to me a little bit, to schmooze, because it wasn't like a meeting, right? He said, I want you to stop by. I want to introduce you to someone. I knock on the door. I come into the office and I see him sitting on the chair. He had this rocking chair that used to go back like this, I see him sitting on the chair talking to about 20 people or something like that. They're all sitting around with chairs and on couches and sofas, 15, 20 people. I can't remember. It was a nice group of people. Not huge, but nice group. And he's sitting and he's teaching. And he's in the middle of teaching. I'm coming in. I was like, I'm sorry. He said, no, come in. Sit down. And he said, here is the chair. He moved like a chair around. Sit down. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting down. And he introduced me. This is Ishai guys, he's new in our community, and so on and so forth. Again, I was at the time an educator, a teacher, but I was not yet an educator. I didn't even get into that. It was like a sort of a helper. It was like an internship. Call it whatever you want, okay? And he continued on. He went on with his class, with his teachings, and he talks for another about 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, he goes like this. And that was like a profound, crazy moment for me, and I'll never forget it. He goes like this. Okay. And he stands up and he says, I have this very important engagements that I have to attend. And Yishai here is going to take over the class and will continue teaching you. The class just started about 20 minutes ago. It means that I had to talk for another 40 minutes or another at least 30 minutes. Okay. And I was 25 with no previous teaching experience that is significant or at that sort. I did not prepare any lessons. And I freaked out. And what happened at that point was unbelievable. So he says, okay, Isha is going to take over, blah, blah, blah. And he starts walking towards the door. And I am white, literally. I lost, I think, all my blood just went to Alaska. And I'm following him toward the door. And he's shutting the door. And he says, okay, I'll see you later. And he shuts the door. And I'm with my foot. I put my foot at the door to stop the door. And he can't close the door. And he looks at me and I say to him, what am I going to do? What are you doing? I don't know what to do. So he pushed his face to mine and he looks at me like this and he says, read from the phone book. And he pushes my foot. He kicked my foot and closed the door. And for me, it was one crazy, profound moment. And I understood in a very simple way that I have to swim. To say the least, that class was, I wouldn't say my greatest, but it was good. It was okay. I managed to pull it through and schmoozed with people and found my voice within that talk that I had to give them and made a relationship with the people and managed to actually pull it through in one way or another. I don't even know how, but it was done. And the lesson I got from that, shortly after, I all of a sudden walk around the office and all of a sudden I see a bulletin, like there's a bulletin board, and I see like a flyer hang up. There were flyers hung up all the time. And all of a sudden I see a flyer about an event and 3 speakers in the event. And I see Professor so-and-so and Mr. so-and-so. No, 2 professors. There were 2 professors in the university, in the local university. Professor, and then Yishai, me, 25-year-old guy. with almost zero credentials and no experience in anything in life. Uh, Meaning I could play basketball. I didn't have back problems like today, but that was it. Meaning not too many things that I've done in my life, except of a lot of studying, which I did. But in terms of life experience, not that much. And I'm at the bulletin board. There's three names: Professor So and So. Debate. It was a debate about something. It was Professor So and So, another Professor So and So, and then me. And again, I went white, and my blood this time went to the moon. And I walk into his office, like it was like, I go into his office and I knock on the door and I said, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I put you up for speaking in this event that we have every year and so on. About 50 to 70 people come, and you have to actually sit on the stage and talk and about your perspective about what I'm going to ask you." I was like, wait. I've never done this. I don't know how it is. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Yeah, you're going to be great. You're going to do great. And the message there was unbelievable. And he said to me, "That's it. You have to show up and you have to do this. You have to get it done." And listen to what happened. I asked him, "What am I going to talk about?" So he gave me some guidelines, and I had to go and prepare. This time I had time to prepare and come back and actually say whatever I said. It was not that bad, but not that good again. But that was another point of confidence with the same man. A third point of confidence that he gave me was they had a camp that summer. Again, I was an educator at the time, a young educator. I was starting up as an educator. And they had a camp to run, a summer camp, a sleepaway summer camp, local sleepaway summer camp to run. And I've never ran a camp in my life. I don't know how to run a camp at that point. And it was me and my closest friend. We were together there. And we both have not attended any camp in our lives beforehand, meaning I did not grow up in the US. And he comes in and he says, "As you know, our camp doesn't have any attendees, and we don't have meaning we have almost zero attendees. We have like very few people signed up, and we don't have a camp director." And that was about 3 weeks away from the beginning of camp. We don't have a camp director. We have no camp director. And I'll never forget it. We said, okay, we haven't been to a camp. We haven't ran a camp, of course, to say the least. We haven't been counselors in a camp. At that point, we were old, meaning we were at the right age. We were about 25 years old, 26 years old, whatever I was. But I didn't have an experience in that. And he said, and I knew that he tried to hire previously all kind of people to come around the camp, meaning they had all kind of people coming in. We saw in the boardroom, the office, all kind of people from the board came in and they interviewed people who came from another city, and they came and they interviewed them, et cetera, and no one actually was hired. So he came to us and he said, "You'll run our camp, both of you." And we were like, "What? We don't know anything about it." So he told me, and my friend, he said to us, "You're going to do it and you're going to do great." And he smacked on the table like, bam, and he left our office. And to me, we were, of course, in shock, white again, but we had to pull it through. In 3 weeks, we had to figure out how to run a camp, a sleepaway camp, how to sign people up. We had to go around and sign people up. Now, this has nothing to do with real estate or commercial real estate, I know, but this is a great lesson for how to gain confidence. You want to go and swim. Of course, you have to learn how to swim, but you have to jump into the water. You have to jump into the water. Sometimes you have to make a fool of yourself a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. In order to gain some experience and confidence, you have to go and actually get your feet wet with something. And that is a great experience. Going to do something, actually doing something, having a specific action to something that you want to get into will give you so much. That will boost your confidence. That will give you what you need to get in order to get things done. That's what they're going to get you. And that gave me the confidence to go later on and get into the field that I had no previous education in or no previous experience in, just the stamina and confidence and the trust in God and myself that I'll be able to pull it through. And thanks to this man, the Rabbi Grossman, and other people in my life that actually gave me assignments and threw the reality in my face and said, get your feet wet, do what you have to do. This is your job. This is what you got to do. Get it done. And that is an incredible boost of confidence that it builds your character. It builds your confidence. It builds who you are. So this is just something that, it takes me through, how do you say, my whole life. It takes me through my whole life. So my message to you guys, to everybody who's listening to me, and I thank you for listening and taking to me. And I tell you that if you have to build your own confidence, or you have a team, or meaning you have team members, people who you hired, or you're working for someone, you want to build your own confidence, or you hire people and you have to give them confidence. Give them, how do you say, assignments that you believe they can handle, because giving someone something that cannot, you can't throw someone to swim in the middle of the ocean and tell him, okay, swim to America, when you are next to the UK or in the middle of the ocean. That's not possible. It has to be doable. It has to be humane, but it has to be a challenge. It has to be, at the same time, it has to be a challenge. It has to be something that they'll have to stand up for. They'll have to actually say, I am doing this. I can do this. Even though at first they say, I cannot do this. And that's what you have to give them. Now, if you're that person and you don't have yet that person to give you the push to get confidence and to give you that assignment, as we call it, my suggestion is get your own game together, get an assignment for yourself. Find a gig that you can do, that you believe that you can actually perform, you can actually get it done, and get on it. You can do this. Get yourself, and the best way to do it is to get yourself a deadline. Just like he said, you have a class, deal with it. You have a show, you have a debate, deal with it. You have a camp, deal with it. Same stuff, not related to anything that has to do with real estate, but great for confidence. If you have a deadline to do something, to get something done, what my suggestion is cut clear, get on it. Get a deadline for yourself. Put a deadline. Put something on your calendar and say, by that time, I'm getting this done. And I can do this. And that will help you. And with that, I just want to wish you guys a beautiful weekend. If you celebrate Shabbos, have a good Shabbos. And hopefully, guys, I'll see you on Monday. We're going to dive into another topic in commercial real estate. I'm working on a few people to bring into this show already. And please, God, very, very soon, we're going to have some interviews and I'm going to be hosting people. You guys, take care of yourself. Have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy. Rest up. Recuperate. I'll see you on Monday.